Coming right up, Straight Talk with Art Levine. Our guest tonight, actress DeeDee Rescher, talking about the world of the actor.
Opinions expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect the views of Charter Communications nor its sponsors. We recognize our obligation to present opposing points of view by responsible spokespersons. For information, please contact the director of program.
She stands in the face of evil and will not lose hope or faith. America, the land of freedom, is still the home of the brave. So raise the banner called Old Glory. Let us join our fellow man. History will write the story. America will always stand.
Straight Talk is brought to you in part by Southern California Edison. For over 100 years, life powered by Edison. The Press Telegram, your local news leader for over 100 years. And Long Beach Magazine. Coastal Living, City Style.
Join us for tonight's edition of Straight Talk. And now your host, Art Levine.
Good evening and welcome to Straight Talk. We're delighted you're joining us this evening. Our guest for the whole show is actor DeeDee Rescher, and we'll be talking with DeeDee about the world of the actor on stage, on screen, and on TV. And DeeDee, welcome back to Straight Talk.
Thank you so much, Art. It's great to be here.
DeeDee was with us a few months ago when she was in town to do ICT's production of How the Other Half Loves, and we liked her so much, and we had an opening. We invited her back, and I've always been fascinated by the world of the actor. It's magic. How do you guys do it?
Practice, a lot of practice. You know, people don't understand that it's a process. It really is. I mean, you don't just get up and act. There's a lot of things you have to do. And number one, you have to have a lot of stamina, and you have to feel really good about yourself because there's a lot of rejection.
That's right, and a lot of people want to do that, and that they don't make a lot of money for a long time, but they do it, but they do it because they love it.
You know, I was thinking about this the other day, and lots of times I do make money, lots of times I don't make money. Either way, I'm doing what I love, and anybody who gets to do, even for a little part of their lifetime, something they love is blessed.
There's an old saying, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
That's so true. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you come from a very distinguished family of actors. Tell us about your grandfather.
My grandfather was Otto Kruger. A lot of you may not remember him because we're talking a long time ago, but he did about 350 films. He started out in vaudeville, did silent films, and went on to do Treasure Island, Magnificent Obsession, High Noon, CoverGirl, and most people will remember him from the Perry Mason days and Bonanza.
And your mother was an actress.
My mother was a Broadway actress. She starred with my grandfather on Broadway. She did about 5 Broadway shows before she decided to have me.
Which is, of course, a full-time job.
Yes, it was her starring role.
Your dad is a famous cinematographer.
Famous cinematographer, 3-time Emmy Award cinematographer. I came by this very naturally.
So it's in your blood.
It's in my blood. I was in tap shoes at 4 years old.
Oh, that would have been adorable. Well, DeeDee brought with us a little montage of her work, and let's take a look at that to see a sense of the breadth of DeeDee.
life to you were just loan. So how can you lose what you've never owned? Life is just a bowl of cherries, so live and laugh at it. You don't know the half of it. Live and laugh at it all. Life's too mysterious, don't take it serious. Live and laugh at it all. Just laugh at it all.
Quite a body of work, DeeDee.
I've been around a long time.
And Ferris Bueller's Day, there was a little clip from Ferris. You were the bus driver.
Yes, most embarrassing job, but I have to tell you, it's the funniest thing. I took that job at a point in my career where I just needed the money, and I was more worried about my insurance than anything else. And my agent came up with this tiny little role in this silly little movie, John Hughes, who's he, Matthew Broderick, who's he? and I ended up saying, I'll take it. Nobody will ever see this. Well, of course, now I'm a part of a cult culture. You know,
It's a cult classic.
It is. It is. It's great.
Well, let's talk about acting. Now, you do stage acting, which you told me you love because of the craft of acting.
Right.
And you do TV because it's good money.
Right.
And stage, you said both craft and money.
You mean film?
Film,
Both-
I'm sorry.
Both
Yeah,
craft
yeah.
and money. Yeah, stage you're never doing for money unless you're doing it on Broadway, and you're really working hard for your money because you're doing 10 shows a week. But you're getting good money, and you know Broadway's the big dream.
Sure.
But how many of us actually get to do Broadway? Not many. So we do a lot of 99-seat equity waiver theater, which means you don't get any money at all. Or we do smaller theaters like ICT, which is a lovely space, pays a little bit of money, but once again, you're not doing it for the money.
Actors have to act.
You have to act. You know, it's a part of what makes your blood flow. And when I say the craft, when I'm talking about stage, this is a genre where you really get to hone your craft because it's the process goes on for weeks and weeks and weeks as opposed to a television show, which is shot in a week, or a film, which is shot in a couple of weeks if you're lucky to have that big of a part. This one, you start at the beginning, you learn your lines, you learn your blocking, you establish relationships with other characters, you find your truth in all the moments, and then you get to practice it all on stage week after week after week.
And you're in front of a live audience. And
Oh,
there's
it's-
something special about other human beings hearing and seeing at the moment.
Immediate gratification
Yeah.
is what it is, and sometimes it's not so gratifying.
Or rejection is the
You
case.
know,
for-
I mean,
for-
there's
yeah.
always the guy in the front row who's got a snore, you know, or whatever. But that's okay too.
But it's a joint thing between the actors and the audience. The audience has a role to play.
They certainly do.
What is that role?
That role is to
Shut up and listen.
it's to engage, to
Yes.
be engaged.
To be engaged.
And very often I'll find myself backstage when there's what we call a quieter audience. And I'm saying that in all the nicest of terms. And I'll think to myself, well, what? They don't like my stuff. They don't like my stuff. And then I have to remember, I always remind myself, DeeDee, trust that they're engaged. And more often than not, they are. And it's funny because I'll have other audience members saying to me after the show, well, I was in the bathroom during intermission and everybody was raving. And you're there with this silent crowd, but they're loving it. They are engaged.
Okay, and we are engaged now in taking a 2-minute break for these commercial messages.